Hi, everyone. Welcome to my podcast. Here we are. Once again, we woke up today. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing that we woke up today? And we woke up and you're listening to this podcast. You must be doing sort of kind of okay if you are listening to this podcast. Your ears work. That's awesome. Congratulations that your ears work. And if you're watching this, that your eyes work. If your eyes don't work, also, that's fine too. You know what? We're all going to be okay, right? We're all going to be okay. Here's a little update on my life right now. I went to hot yoga this morning. It was actually a really good morning. We woke up, I co-sleep with my kids. So I probably slept for like 10 hours with my 4 and 6-year-old, which I'm going to phase out. And if you have any suggestions, moms out there on phasing out of the co-sleeping phase, let me know. As much, I love it so much. I just know, I can't have 2 teenagers in my bed. That's weird. So at some point they're going to need to sleep in their own rooms. And I know now is not the time, especially not now when I am on edge, don't feel the safest. I want the kids right next to me. Right. But eventually, so let me know your tips on transitioning them into their own rooms, especially kids on the spectrum. Speaking of that, I had my meeting with the regional center yesterday. They're pretty awesome. They provide all sorts of services for kids with disabilities. And so we talked about what his short-term goals were. And basically, it's fighting for all sorts of services. So I'm going and touring this gym that's close by. And it's basically a gym for special needs kids. And they also do classes for special needs adults. And I bumped into the 2 owners of the gym a few weeks back, and they were like, I just want to say our adults that have memberships to this gym all did a Halloween workout, and they showed me the Halloween workout, and it was the coolest thing ever. But they also work with kids too. So that's exciting. I was thinking that martial arts for Alfie. Oh my God, somewhere where he can punch and kick and it's celebrated. That's his heaven. Swimming lessons. He lives in the pool. So there's a place that offers that. And then some sort of like floor time therapy, just, they also do summer camps and stuff like that. So I feel very excited about that. And then I went from there to the police station, because, the DVRO keeps getting violated and I'm just taking it very seriously. I'm taking action. If it's violated, then I report it. Simple as that. I think overall I'm doing okay around that stuff. My mom calls me like 5 times a day, checking in. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And I go through periods, ups and downs, where, I'll wake up and I get bombarded with DMs and messages and videos and people sending screenshots, incredibly concerned for me and the kids' safety. I'm seeing really just absolutely horrific things being written about me, from my ex, stuff that's just so, it breaks my heart that he feels that way or has convinced himself that that is the truth. It just breaks my heart. I just feel heartbroken, really. I feel heartbroken that someone that I spent 11 years with is now the person that I'm scared of the most, that wants to destroy me, take me down, ruin me in whatever way he can. Like, it just makes me really sad. And I feel kind of stupid too, because I still just want him to heal. I don't want him to suffer. I want him to heal and have peace in his heart and be healthy and creatively fulfilled and sober and stable and successful, Um, and so all this stuff that he's saying, about how I'm a whatever, Satan, the devil, a terrible mom. I convinced my uncle to kill himself, like just horrific stuff. Yeah, it just breaks my heart actually. And I feel sad and I feel sorry for him. But, some of the stuff is so scary and unhinged and threatening, lots of threatening behavior and harassing behavior. To the point where, I contemplate, okay, yeah, leaving, going somewhere where no one knows where we are. And then I go, no, that. No, that. I'll instead do what I have to do to protect myself, if you know what I mean. I'll do what I have to do to protect myself. Why am I going to have to, uproot and leave our life here because someone is deciding to threaten and harass? No, I'll just take every precaution and protect myself and the kids in the best ways. And so that's what I'm doing. And, I got to say, that feels really liberating. I feel really strong and so resilient, And I'm still able to find joy through the days, even going from, the regional center meeting for my son to the police station. It's like I'm able to, I think the key is get into radical acceptance. It is what it is. There's no changing the present, this reality right now, right here, right now. It is what it is. There's this book called Loving What Is, and she talks about that. She says, I'm a lover of what is. It's not that I have to love everything that's happening, but I'm a lover of reality, of what is. So she's choosing to love her life, even though some of the circumstances are scary or unfair or painful. And it's that resisting the reality of what is that causes the immense suffering and fear. So I'm just choosing today to accept my situation exactly as it is, have the courage to change the things that I can, and practice that wisdom to know the difference. That is it. I'm basically just serenity prayer all day and night. And that's been really helpful, and the kids are healthy and happy and safe, and so am I. And I think too, I feel a inner peace because I'm keeping my side of the street clean. And that's something I learned very early on in sobriety was it's so important as a recovering addict, anyone really, to keep your side of the street clean. Because if you don't keep your side of the street clean, you'll be riddled with, anxiety, sadness, fear, resentment, guilt, shame. I think the guilt and the shame are really the driving force of a lot of people's cruel, unjust behavior. And so, yeah, I learned very early on, 14 years ago, actually, in October. I've been sober 14 years, October 29th will be, that it's imperative to keep my side of the street clean. And what does that look like? That looks like if I've wronged someone, promptly make amends, make it right. However you have to do that. Even the other day, it was like, Actually, this was a few weeks ago. I had gotten my nails done and they didn't accept like tips in with the card. And so I was like, I'll come back, and like it had been a few days and I forgot to go back to tip the guy. And it was like eating me up inside because I'm like, you got to go tip the guy for the nails, tip the guy for the nails. But it's like stuff like that. You don't think that it matters that much. Maybe you do. It does. It fucking does. And so it's like went tip the guy $10 and it's like, like I could breathe again, just like, okay, so it's that keeping my side of the street clean. So when I'm wrong, promptly make amends, make it right, find my part, in the situation. And then it's also looks like becoming willing to forgive or let go of resentments. That's another part of it, of having inner peace. And so even with my ex, I have every right to fucking hate this man for what he's doing to me and the kids. But I'm choosing to, and this is not me, like, I'm so evolved. No, this is like, I have to practice these principles or I'll go fucking insane. Okay. And I'll relapse, right? If I don't practice these principles, then I'm at risk to relapse. And I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to throw away my life. I've built a beautiful life because of my sobriety. So another tool is to keep my side of the street clean is to become willing to let go of resentments. Resentments are the number one offender for alcoholics and addicts. They are the number one offender, the first thing that takes them out. And so because I'm choosing to live a sober life and a healthy life, and because I want inner peace, I want contentment in my life, I have to become willing to let go. And that means, even if I have a justified resentment, right? Like at my ex, I am choosing to see him not as evil, not as bad, but as honestly sick, spiritually sick or, mentally sick. And you then pray for that person to get better, to heal. And that doesn't mean I'm a doormat either, right? I think part of the reason I'm being attacked so fucking hard right now is because I'm finally speaking up. Because he didn't expect me to speak up. Because for so long, I actually didn't. I know you guys were like, when have you ever stayed quiet? No, bitch, I stayed quiet. I didn't talk about the stuff that was happening in our relationship, really. And then, like when my shit was hacked, I said it, and there's proof and I said it, right? And he was so angry that I spoke up. And, even the restraining order, it's like, I didn't actually choose to publicize that. I probably would not have publicized that. But even just filing it was me setting a boundary saying, I will not be abused anymore. I will not be harassed anymore. I will not. And now the courts are involved because it's not stopping. And I tried for months, begged him to go to rehab to get help. So, and then, he chose to publicize it. So I spoke out again, and he's mad about that, but whatever. So yeah, keeping my side of the street clean. And then, I don't know, whatever. I'll kind of shut up about that, but that's been really helpful. I talked to my sponsor. I feel very grateful, because I'm in this 12-step program. I have a sponsor who I can call literally every day and just check in with her. And I hadn't checked in with her in a bit. So it was really good. I chatted with her and, she just encourages me, supports me. She's a safe space for me to call and, read out my fears or resentments or whatever it is to help me work through them. you know? So that's good. 4th of July was so fun. I had my best friend and her little kids. Our daughters are 5 days apart. That was awesome. And we just played and sang and danced and ate vegan sausages and vegan hamburgers. And I just had a great time. I feel very lucky to have just good friends, good family that now after that meeting with the regional center, like I'm so excited to have all this extra support. I even have respite, which is so exciting because I find that sometimes I isolate with a special needs kid, right? There's places I can't just like take him to the fucking zoo, or the zoo, me, Poppy and Alfie, because he elopes. It's dangerous. I need more than one adult. So having respite, having, paid help for Alfie specifically is going to be huge for me. Or even, I think I have it's like 40 hours a month, which is huge. So it's like 10 hours a week that I can, even just if I want to take Poppy somewhere, this person can help look after Alfie or whatever. It just gives me more freedom to do even things like going to the beach. It's like, it's so difficult to do that stuff with a kid who elopes. And so I have to find places that are contained and safe. And you know how it is, mommies. So yeah, I'm just excited for this extra support. I'm just very, very excited about that. I'm so excited about him getting to take martial arts and swimming and camps. And of course, Poppy now wants to take soccer classes. So we're going to do that for her, ballet, music lessons. I'm just excited. I'm excited for all of that. Okay. So, I did a mother frickin' ask me anything. So I'm going to answer a few of your questions. And then I want to do another 10-minute meditation because that was so awesome. And so many of you are like, please do more meditations. Please do more meditations. I'm so down. I have got my singing bowls here. And I was thinking we end this 30-minute podcast with a 10-minute meditation. You're already listening. You might as well meditate with me. Okay. So I'm going to answer these questions for the next 2 minutes. Let's see what you mother frickers asked. You nosy little bitches. Okay. Single mom of 3 boys. One is selective mute. Best ways to communicate without voices? Well, now when you say mute, I wonder, does he make noises? Because what I do to communicate with Alfie, my son, who's not nonverbal, but he's not conversational. His latest latest vocal stim is a snort. I'm not kidding you. For the last 5 days, he walks around like this. And so I told him, stop that immediately. I'm just kidding. I snort back. I snort the back. Literally, he goes and looks in my eyes and goes, and I go, and he goes, and I go, and he goes, and I'm like, and he's like, and I'm like, and he's like, and we talk like that. And it's fucking awesome. So, that's what I kind of do. Like I'll match, or another vocal stim he does. He goes, yee, and I just go, yee, and then he loves it, and he goes, yee. It's like he's like saying to me, "You speak my language," yee, and I'm like, yee, and he's like, yee, and we just do that. It's fun. It's so fun. Or he has this new stim where he takes tiny steps around the house, like. like just the tiniest little, and so I just take tiny steps with him. I just match his energy and it connects us. And then he feels really safe with me and just has fun with me. And I don't know if that's helpful, but just kind of like model whatever he's doing back to show that you're connecting and that you're kind of speaking his language, whatever that language is. Maybe it's flapping or clapping or spinning, although the spinning, man, I get dizzy from that. Okay. Next question. Your video of my son has autism made me cry so much. It was beautiful. Oh, thank you. That's just a comment there. Okay. Someone said, do you worry about your son in the future and how will you cope with it? My son is autistic and I was curious. Love this question. So even yesterday, the woman at the regional center has a full-grown 22-year-old son with autism. And I asked her, I said, I wonder if my son will ever be independent. I wonder what the future will look like. I don't know. At 6 years old, I just don't know. I said, what do you think? She's worked with so many kids on the spectrum for so many decades and adults on the spectrum. I thought maybe she would know based on his developmental level now, will he be independent? Will he be able to have his own apartment and a job and all that stuff? And I just looked at her like, well, can you tell me, give me the answer? And she said, just don't worry about it. She said, just be now, just be here. Just deal with what's in front of you. Don't worry about that. She said, my son is 22 years old and he's awesome and he's making progress. And and she went into detail about where her son is and that it's all okay. Whatever, it really goes back to what I was saying before of just radical acceptance. Why am I future tripping? Why not just let it ride how it will and just trust in the process of life? One of my favorite affirmations is, today is a beautiful day of opportunity. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I open myself to the universe and I trust in the unfolding of my life. I love that affirmation. And it felt like that. Okay, at this rate, we're going to do a 5-minute meditation, but that's okay. Even better. Okay. How do you stay positive in your current situation? I feel like I kind of answered that. Another huge tip I have or tool that I have is gratitude. I'm obsessed to the point where my kids now are, what are you happy and grateful for, Mom? What are you happy and grateful for, Mom? Because we do gratitude lists every morning and sometimes at night. It's so important to just go back and forth. What do you have? What's going right? What went right? What is going right? What are you grateful for? What are you happy for? And it's fun and it keeps me just focused on what's right. And there's a lot right in my life. Looking back, what was the first red flag you noticed with your accent? Girl, I think that I would like to do an entire video around that. But I would say probably the fact that I was 59 days sober and 24 years old, and he was 36 years old with 10 years sober. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Kimberly says, are you bitter? No, I'm not bitter, but I am skeptical. And I'm finally learning the art of discernment. And maybe I'm a little bitter. No, I don't know about bitter. I'm just more discerning and skeptical, I would say, around romantic relationships specifically. I don't know if that's bitter or just more knowledgeable. And I'm also not centering them the way that I had my entire life, since from dating as a teenager to the separation, I truly centered men. I centered romantic relationships in my life. And I'm no longer doing that. There's so many other beautiful forms of love, platonic love, family love, community, love for whatever hobby, like yoga. I love that community. It's awesome. Okay, let's do this meditation because I've got 5 minutes left. So I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes. And I think we should do a 5-minute gratitude meditation. So go ahead and pull over. If you're driving, do not close your eyes on the highway. Get in a comfortable seated position. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Unclench your jaw. And go ahead and just become aware. Wiggle your fingers and your toes and just become aware of your body. Get in your body. Now focus on your heart space. Just focus in there. And again, just relax your body, your shoulders, your jaw. Close your eyes softly and go ahead and take a big, deep inhale through your nose and exhale fully through your mouth. Inhale deep through your nose and exhale fully through your mouth. Inhale deep through your nose and exhale fully through your mouth. Now keep this breath going, inhaling deeply through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Keep that nice deep breath going. And I want you to go ahead and think about what you're grateful for. Just one thing at a time. It could be family, nature, your health, chocolate, vibrators. It could be Lizzo. It doesn't matter. Your nipples, you could be grateful for those. Doesn't matter what it is you're grateful for. Just go ahead and think about that one thing. And I want you to really reflect on whatever it is that you're grateful for and think about it and feel it. Feel yourself interacting with that person, or if it's nature, being out in nature. Whatever that is, just go ahead and reflect on it for a few minutes as you breathe deeply in through your nose and out through your mouth. And now I want you to think about a few more things you're grateful for. Just go through a list of all the things. Go ahead and search your brain for what you're grateful for right here, right now, in this moment. What is going right in your life? Go ahead and keep going with your deep inhale through your nose as you think and reflect on what you're grateful for. And exhale through your mouth. Keep that deep breath going. And think about another thing you're grateful for. I know you have it in you. What else are you grateful for right now? Live in what is right. Focus on what is right in your life right now. What is going right? What is going right? Go ahead and say, I am so happy and grateful for, and list another thing. You can say it in your head or out loud. I am so happy and grateful for. And we'll end this meditation with the affirmation from earlier. So go ahead and put your hand on your heart. Take one last deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Today is a beautiful day of opportunity. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I open myself to the universe and trust in the unfolding of my life. We did it. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. And I love you guys so much. Comment below anything you want, okay? Just comment something. Jesus, I need engagement. All right. I love you. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you next week. I hope you have a blessed, grateful day. Bye.